our guests just give us a few minutes. We need to highlight on this matter briefly, the unfortunate incident in Kano. That's the second time this year. The second time, isn't it? Or is it more?
You know, people always say,
we spoke about this before.
Chairman, they say that lightning doesn't strike on the same spot twice, but clearly in Nigeria that is not the rule. We spoke about Singer Market just 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, the Singer Market was on fire, and I think at that point, you know, I said it was important that we highlight it because it ties very much. I think if I get $1, okay, let me just say 10 naira for every time we've highlighted the issue of safety on this program, I know how wealthy I'll be by now, because it is.
Assuming the value improves, the value of the naira.
Let's even leave the value out of it. I know how much I'll have in my kitty or in my piggy bank by now. If every time we mention the issue of safety, just 2 weeks ago, I wasn't on the show last week. I was on the show the week before, and we highlighted this issue. Singer Market was on fire. We brought up this issue, and in general, we talked about market fires in general. I think we brought up a report by Business Day saying that over 1 trillion naira had been lost to fires in Nigeria in less than 6 months, thereabout. So that's 6 months, a few months from last year, and about 2 months this year. And now, another week after, in the same market, another fire. In the same Singer Market, another fire. So you have to ask, are we learning anything? Do we just go, you know, put out the flames now, and then we fold our arms, the traders will count their losses, and, you know, that will be the end. What exactly do we know? And we say that we highlighted that this is the dry season. We know we have 2 seasons in Nigeria, a dry and a rainy season. And we know in the dry season that this is something that we would normally experience. What are the precautionary measures that we put in place? Well, I'm not asking rhetorical questions this morning. This morning we do have a guest in our studio, somebody who should know a thing or two about what people should be doing when the dry season comes and how safety, especially for things that safety really needs to be a priority for us as a people. This morning we're joined by DSF Alasan Ahmad Kantin, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Federal Fire Service in Kano Command. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're looking at this unfortunate incident that has now happened again in the Singer Market in Kano. Can you tell us, do you have an idea of why this fire has started again in the same market in less than 2 weeks?
Very much. Good morning, Channels TV. Good morning, Nigeria. Fire outbreak is something that is not predictable. On the other hand, fire outbreak generally is preventable. That's actually what we've been doing for years. And these incidents in Singer Market is quite unfortunate and disturbing. I want to lean on this opportunity to sympathize with Kano as well as the traders in Singer Market on behalf of the Federal Fire Service. What actually happened is this incident is linked to an explosion from a solar battery. The one that also occurred 2 weeks ago was also linked to the same thing. So as a result of that, I think what we should focus on now is this current trend of solar system, because currently majority of the populace have resolved to the use of solar system. And there are 2 things to check out for anytime you are installing or using a solar system. The first one is the solar panels. Solar panels generally, if they encounter poor connection or loose connection, there is every tendency that there will be an overheating during sunny days, and it could lead to fire outbreak. How does that occur? Once the cables are overheated, there will be a spark, and the fire, if ignited, will travel from the panel down to the room where the installation is made. And if there is contact with fuels around, more especially if there is no proper housekeeping, definitely there's going to be a fire. The second thing we need to check out for is the charge controller. It's very, very important. If the charge controller is faulty, definitely it will not be able to regulate the energy that is being stored in the battery. As a result, the battery will get overcharged. It will reach a stage where it will eventually explode. So when we talk about general market fires as well as residential fires these days, this is what I want the good people of Kano as well as Nigeria to please take note of.
So from what you have said, there is clearly an opportunity here, and there are big questions to ask as to what exactly we're doing in terms of making sure that there are new regulations, because we've now seen that it's no longer about generators. Generators are still causing fires, but it's now about an alternative source of energy that Nigerians have found for themselves. But it does appear that we have not been able to regulate that particular market in the sense that we do not have people who are certified installers, or maybe we do, but it does appear that we have not yet made sure that whatever unit is installed are installed by people who have been certified, and that, you know, there are safety precautions that must be taken. I do know that fire officials or fire safety officials usually go around buildings, public buildings, to make sure that, you know, safety has been adhered to. You have a fire escape route. There is a, what they call that now, there is a, looking for the word now, there's a muster point, things like that, for general public facilities. But identifying this new threat, because yes, it's supposed to be something that is solving problems, but clearly is also constituting a threat. What would you say that your own agency is now doing to sensitize Nigerians on the need to get certified professionals and to do things properly in a way that, you know, doesn't cause this sort of huge loss when the incidences happen?
Okay, I want to begin by informing you that the Federal Fire Service is it's constituted currently with numerous engineers. As a result, we do have knowledge of these possibilities of fire outbreaks when it comes to electrical appliances. As a result, anyone who wants to install a solar system should please consult the nearest office of the Federal Fire Service for guidance. I am not saying we install, but we can guide and supervise during installation. Secondly, this major modern firefighting trend that we try to employ these days. It says emphasis of general fire service completely should be 70% fire prevention activities and 30% firefighting activities. As a result, we see no reason to be in the office, as you just testified that our officers have been going around public and private buildings to vet or carry out fire risk assessment. That's what we've been doing for years, and we hope to continue on that timeline. Currently, just about 4 weeks ago, the Controller General, Dr. Olumide Samuel Adeyemi, inaugurated a committee that will go around the Federation to vet, to carry out fire risk assessment of public and private buildings. What we aim to achieve here is to identify the gaps within these facilities. And if the gaps are identified, what is next is a recommendation. So it's a kind of coming in a formal avenue rather than what we've been doing at command level. So what the Federal Fire Service Command Command intends to do at the moment is any moment from today, a team of professional firefighters will be dispatched across the state to conduct an intensive or to commence an intensive auditing of public and private buildings. Thirdly, what we want to give much emphasis in these coming weeks is activities that have to do with proper or adequate fire safety sensitization. We've been...
All right. Sorry to interrupt you, sir. I just want to quickly get this because we're almost out of time. We don't have a lot of time. I want to ask you the response time because, yes, while it is good to prevent the fire, when the fire eventually, you said 30% of what you do is, making sure that you are able to respond to fires. In this instance, it does appear that the fire has taken a huge portion of the market. How quick would you assess your response time? Would you say that people know basic or have basic equipment to be able to put out a fire before it spreads?
We do. And I think today I'm a living witness of what happened in this recent Singa market. Because when the fire occurred, I received a call from one of the market executives. I was very close to the scene of the fire, just about 600 meters. What I did was when I received the call, before responding, I raised and observed the sky. The first thing I noticed was that there is a huge, thick smoke emanating from Singa market. I quickly mobilized to the scene. Immediately, I informed the state controller as well as the head of operation. I got in contact with the state fire service, and within 10 minutes, firefighting trucks were beginning to approach the scene. But what we encountered was a huge traffic, and majority of the traders could testify to that. Before our firefighting appliances could get access to that market, it took more than 1 hour before we were able to start the proper firefighting. That was what led to the escalation of fire from the first building to the second, third, and eventually the fourth building. There is also a barrier that was stationed at Bello Road. It denied access to heavy trucks. Before our coming, some commuters and motorists uprooted it so that we could get access through the bridge, which we eventually did. That was where the first firefighting activity began. But it got to an extent that we could no longer fight the fire from the bridge. We have to go to the root or the source of the fire. That was when the whole process got overwhelmed, because the traffic, more especially those that do not have anything to do with the scene, were there for coverage and they could not give us access. So our response time was adequately efficient, but the major problem we encountered as at that Saturday was a traffic access to the market.
Well, we hope that we continue to, we hope we don't get tired of teaching Nigerians and enlightening the people on the need for safety.
Yes, we will not. And I think this is an avenue. Yeah. Since majority of you are now coming in to partner with us to actually pass the message across to the people. Because what is actually happening in the scene now, we are carrying out damping and overhaul. But could you believe that we encounter a fierce battle with people that are there just to watch or take pictures? They push us aside without knowing that the firefighting procedure has not been declared conclusive. We still have access to carry out our mandate, but we are facing defiance from people. Also, the people around are inhaling smoke. That smoke is what kills, not actually the flame or the fire. The fire could only get you burnt, but the inhalation of the toxic substances is what kills. And people are within that scene now, inhaling smoke. So I think this is an opportunity, and I wish to commend your efforts in having us in the studio to talk to Nigerians. We cannot do it alone. We need the media to adequately partner with us to sensitize the people. We do not have all the resources to be able to reach a large majority of the masses.
We will continue to do so, but we have to thank you very much for speaking with us this morning. DSS Al-Hassan Ahmad Kantin is the Public Relations Officer of the Federal Fire Service, Kano Command. Thank you once more for speaking with us on Sunrise Daily.